All right, welcome back to another one of our film reviews. Today we are talking Atlanta Falcons rookie ranked tackle Jack Nelson. Nelson has quickly emerged as a critical part of this Falcons offensive line due to the injuries, but when you look at his film, Falcons fans, he is prepared to step up. He's a versatile player who does a lot of things at a high level. I think you'll come to really appreciate the value he'll provide. We'll break down everything he did so well in the Falcons' last preseason game. As always, in the comment section below, give us any feedback you might have, or if there's any other players you want us to break down. But without further ado, let's jump right into the film. All right, we're going to open up with a standard inside run gap concept. I mean, this is as basic gets, guys. We're going to get double teams inside, working up to the next level. We're going to get base block here, base block here. We're going to get a base block here and a base block here. Running back again, working north and south wherever he can. I want you guys to watch Nelson here. What he does, he stays on this defensive end as he tries to slant over the top right there. He gets movement, stays working, opens up a crease that the running back takes for a touchdown. Monster play. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. We can see the double teams inside. We can see the base blocks across the board. Let's look at this movement between the right guard and the center. Good job there, working up to the next level, or at least trying to. Let's look at Nelson right here. You're talking about opening up a hole. You're talking about movement. You see this defensive end try and cut across his face. He gets on him, stays working, keeps running his feet, keeps driving, opens up the crease, and the running back makes the guy miss, and he is gone, folks. Again, you talk about a really good block right here. Look at Jack Nelson, the 7th rounder, coming into the preseason and says, I'm going to dominate. I don't care what round you're drafted in. I'm going to blow you off the football. Contact made right about, the 43-yard line. He walks this defensive end back all the way back inside the 40, helps open up the crease. Again, he doesn't stop moving his feet. That's what I always look for in offensive linemen, certainly rookies. Do you quit moving your feet or do you keep driving? And Nelson keeps driving, opens up the hole by staying with it. Nice rep here from the rookie. Results in a touchdown. All right, for the white cop, you can see Nelson right here. Watch him as he gets into this slanting defensive end here at the snap and gets movement. Gets on him right there. Defensive end tries to cross his face, and he just walks him back. Methodically walks him back, opens up a hole. Look at this defensive dent, right? You can see the line of scrimmage right here. Look on this right side of the offensive line. Look at this movement. My goodness gracious. This is the backup group. I understand that. But this is really good. And Jack Nelson, this is why, even though you have a lot of injuries at tackle, and I get it, you'd rather have the starters and the key players. But if you got to go with some backups, if you got to start a rookie, Jack Nelson is doing a lot better than most rookies. He actually looks like a really good player, potentially a massive steal in his own right. All right, how about some pass protection? There's Nelson, of course, at right tackle. You can see the Titans have 1, 2, 3 defensive linemen lined up to the offensive right. Basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to slant this defensive tackle that way, so they get one-on-one opportunities right here on the right side. We get 68 one-on-one on this defensive tackle, and Nelson right here one-on-one on this defensive end. Nelson does a really good job hanging in here to help out his buddy as long as he can, to not give this defensive tackle a free release to the quarterback. Then he does a good job picking up the pass rusher here. Really nice rep from the rookie. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the defensive tackle slant left, creating this one-on-one matchups on this right side. I love how long Nelson hangs in there, right? He doesn't separate away from this guard too much. Otherwise, you get a gap right here between the two, and this defensive lineman can exploit it. Instead, he's patient, waits for the right moment. Now, he receives the blow. That's not ideal, but after he receives it, he collects himself, gets his hands down, and stops the pass rush. And here's what I love. Finish him into the dirt. Again, is it a perfect rep? Is it going to give, highlight film awards for technique? No. But you talk about finish, not stopping your feet, winning the play. We saw it on the running play, resulted in a touchdown. We see it here. Receives a little bit of a blow there, but when it's all said and done, he's the guy putting 99 flat on his back. This is the kind of stuff I like. I understand he's a 7th-round rookie. He's going to have flaws in his game, right? It's the reason he was picked in the 7th round. But in terms of having some nastiness, having some finish, having the kind of attributes you want in an offensive lineman, Nelson's got it, Falcons fans. He'll be a great addition if he has to play due to some injuries. Now from the wide copy, you can see Nelson right here. Hanging in, takes a shot, but stays with it, keeps moving his feet, and finishes with a knocking the defender flat on his back. I don't know if you'll call that a pancake, but it's certainly a dog, a defender on the ground, as my old coach liked to say. Again, perfect technique? No. But solid enough. Again, patient. Doesn't overset, hangs in to help out his guard as long as possible. And then when it's all said and done, it's all about finish, which he does here. You look at the only Titan defender on the ground, that's Nelson's guy. Quarterback had to escape to throw it, but nice play from Jack Nelson. All right, going back to the running game, there is Nelson right there at right tackle, of course. And we're going to get an inside zone concept here for the Atlanta Falcons. So we're going to get a zone double team right here, working up to the next level. We're going to get tight scoop here, working up to the linebacker, and the tackle's trying to cut off this defensive tackle right there. We're going to get zone block right here, working out basing number 49 from Nelson. Now, this is a situation where normally as a running back, you try and run it this path, and you either go this way or you cut it back inside, wherever you can find the hole. But if you look at the offensive line right here, we got these 5 guys right here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys here. for the Tennessee Titans, and it doesn't count these two guys right here inside that the tight end theoretically would have to deal with. So you would never run this in a game, in a real game, regular season game. Would not matter, right? The Titans just have numbers, and they blow up this play because of it, right? Because they just have a million people in the box. I think this is kind of silly on Tennessee's part, to be totally honest, because how is this helping your defense? It's not like you can play 15 people. If you come out with this defense in the regular season, you'll give up 600 yards a game passing. But regardless, let's look at Nelson right here. He gets good movement at the point of attack. Help opens up a really big hole right here that would have been there if the Tennessee Titans didn't have 80 billion people in the box. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. You can see the zone double team right there. They get up to a linebacker. That's not bad. Backside scoop technique. That's really good. They get those two guys pinned. Let's look at Nelson. Fires off. Gets some little movement right there. Dents the defense. That's what you like to see. Look at where this defensive end starts. Again, basically to the right of the hash. Where does he end up? About 2 to 3 yards to the left of the hash. Look at this crease, guys. Big hole right there. This running back would have a very clear vision if he wants to go outside or cut back here. But the thing is, there's just so many bodies. There's just nowhere for this running back to go because there's literally two other guys right here, and not to count the backside guys as well for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, they just loaded up the box. Again, not a realistic defense at all. Again, Titans just playing to stop the run here in the preseason to make themselves feel good, but that's whatever. They're allowed to do whatever they want. But Nelson, again, good movement, right? Does he stay on him long enough? I don't think so. I'd loved him to fight a little bit longer, but he gets good movement, opens up this crease. I mean, look at this hole right here. I mean, this is what you want. You're going to see in a game, in a real game, people are going to fly up this hole, or the running back's going to hit it for a successful run, and if they fly, he'll cut it inside. I think this isn't a realistic look, but Jack Nelson right here, he does a pretty good job. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Nelson there at the bottom of your screen. He's going to fire into this edge defender and get good movement right on contact. Bang there. Drives him off the football. Runs him off the field. Again, big crease. You can see the Tennessee Titans. I mean, look at this. They got no one, right? If this had been a throw out in the flat, this is a touchdown, right? They got one blocker and one receiver, and there's no one else there. It's a touchdown. Why are you calling this defense? Anyway, Nelson right here, he does a good job. I think the Falcons' offensive line in general did a pretty good job here, but I think Nelson in a pinch could certainly do good things for the Atlanta Falcons. All right, handling a stunt is really important for offensive line pass protection. There is Nelson right there. And we're going to get a little stunt here from the Tennessee Titans. We're going to get this defensive lineman. He's going to work upfield and then try and go outside. This edge defender is going to work up the field and then try and loop around just like this. And Nelson, again, experienced, savvy guy. Did a lot of this in college. We're showing it already in the National Football League. Hangs in there, hangs with his buddy a long time. When this defensive tackle finally commits, he's there to pick him up. And because he hung with his guard, when this guy loops around, the guard's right there to pick him up as well. Great pass protection on the right side of the Falcons line. Great sign for the future. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap where you can see right there, Nelson hanging with the guard. I love that. By the time the defensive tackle commits, he's right there to pick him up. Really nice rep here. You see a lot of young offensive linemen. They end up with separation like you see over here on the left. Now, it's not apples to apples, of course, because we're seeing the defensive tackle. He went to the right. It's one of the reasons why you got that much green grass. But a lot of times, even when they're in close proximity, tackles are so worried about the speed rush that they get out of there so quick, they create a lot of holes. They create a lot of gaps. Not Nelson. Patient, patient, patient. Waits for the defensive end to come to him. When he doesn't, the defensive tackle does, and he's there to pick him up. Because he hangs in there so close, when this defensive end loops around, there's nowhere for him to go. He has to end up going all the way around, and he can't get home. The ball ends up being thrown before he can get there. Nelson is an underrated pass protector, right? A lot of people viewed him as a project guy, not really a high ceiling kind of guy either. But I tell you what, the more film of him I see, I think he's got a really good potential right here. He can do a lot of things. One-on-one pass pro, picking up stunts, movement in the run game. He's a good player. All right, from the wide copy, you can see Nelson at the top of your screen. Hang in there, hang in there, hang in there. Pick up the defensive tackle. Clean pocket for the quarterback. This is what you want, right? I understand it's backups. I understand it's preseason, and all that has to be taken with a grain of salt. But this is just really good fundamental football. And good fundamentals will translate whether it's against first string or third stringers, right? The opposition will be better, and it will never be that clean. But I tell you what, hanging in with your guard, helping with your buddy. We talk about offensive line play all the time. It's all about working together. 5 guys, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And right here, Nelson's doing a great job making sure that the whole of these guys is greater than each one of them individually with great technique. Nice rep. All right, this next play, you can see Nelson right there, of course, that right tackle is going to highlight his athleticism and his intelligence. I think it's an underrated play from the young offensive tackle. What the Falcons are going to do is they're going to bring the tight end in motion right here, pre-snap, and he's going to crack back block on this edge defender as Nelson's going to pull and lead the way on a toss. He does a really nice job. It's a smart block. It's an athletic block. Let's check it out. All right, there's the motion. It's going to get lined up right there on the hash. All right, there's the crackback block right there. You can see Nelson at right tackle. He's going to pull around. Nice athletic play. Now the safety's filling. One of the things that some people teach, and I see some offensive line do, they say, go out there with reckless abandon and throw your body. And if you whiffs, if you miss them, hey, look, you live and die by that. But I don't like that. I want you to get hats on hats. You're out there to block. You're not out there to whiff. Go out there and get a hat on a hat, and that's what Nelson does. You can see he kind of throttles it down there just a little bit, pitter-patter right there to make the block, but I'm okay with that because here's the thing. Let's look at this running back. If he follows right here between 69 and the wide receiver, right there, it is a touchdown. Now you can see 41 gets a little antsy, tries to cut it up inside, and that crackback block finally gets beat, ends up getting tackled for a minimal gain. But if you look at the block here from Nelson, guys, look at this. Right here. Scoot outside, it's a touchdown. You think Bijan Robinson will take this for a score? I think he will. This is a really good block by Nelson. Again, is it a pancake block, highlight reel block? No. But getting a hat on a hat, putting your body in a good position to cut off that safety, reach him, this is really good stuff. I love the athleticism, and I love the smarts. Underrated play here from the rookie. All right, from the wide copy, you can see 47 come in motion right there. He's going to get that crackback block right there. You can see Nelson loop around. Look at this right here. If I freeze frame it, there's that hole, guys, right there. Can the running back scoot around and score? I think so. Is anyone going to stop him? I mean, look how this develops right here. If the running back is a little more patient, follows the blockers, he scores. I mean, maybe a safety can make the tackle right there, like the 45, maybe. I kind of doubt it. And this is where the old Le'Veon Bell patience, right? The Alvin Kamara patience or the Bijan Robinson patience, as he's shown, could turn this into a touchdown. Because right here, if you're the running back, if you slow it down, follow your blocks, let them set up, and then accelerate outside, you score. 41 decides right here, I'm going to accelerate, and then he gets tackled, right? You got to be patient. It's hard to do. It ain't easy. It's really hard to do, but you need that from the running back position. Now, from the offensive tackle, this is pretty good, right? Gets enough depth there to avoid the potential crackback block tripping him up. Sometimes, right, they teach it to be a little flatter, but I'm a little nervous because you never want to run into your own guy right there because that can create all kinds of problems, obviously. So get a little more depth, get around, be safe, and then get a hat on a hat, reach him. Really nice play here from Nelson. All right, how about some basic one-on-one pass protection? There is Nelson right there, of course, at right tackle. The Falcons' offensive line, they're going to slide play side, center, right guard, right tackle, the gap to their right. So center's going to take this gap. The guard's going to take this gap, but he's going to have some post help inside on here on this 2-eye on the inside eye of the guard, which means Nelson one-on-one right here on this edge defender. He knows he's got some help inside, but he can't expect a lot of it, which means he's on an island. He's got to get it done. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. We can see right there the one-on-one pass rush. We can see the center and right guard take the gap to their right. You can see how the right guard's really heavily invested on that defensive tackle, offers some inside help, but not much. Look at Nelson here. One of the things I love about him, doesn't over kick step. See how he hangs in again, close to his teammates. Strength in numbers. That's the right approach up front. Waits for this defensive end to commit. He doesn't overset. This defensive end, he wants to go inside. He wants to use speed to power, but Nelson does a great job anchoring right there, slowing them down. Again, get run over slowly. They tell you to feed the bull rush. If this guy's going to come attack you like this, little hands to the face, that's kind of a penalty there to put it mildly. But again, get run over slowly, good extension, good base, good anchor right there in the hips. It's kind of a blurry screen, but it's really good technique here by Nelson. Gives the quarterback just enough pocket to sit in there and deliver a deep ball down the field. Now from the wide copy, you can see Nelson right there, one-on-one on this defensive end, doesn't overset. Again, catches a little more than I would like, but he settles down, anchors down there, gets his butt low, hips low, keeps his defensive end away from the quarterback. That's all you're looking for right there. Give the quarterback a clean pocket to make the throw. It's a pretty quick throw. Had it been a little longer, there may have been a little trouble. But again, he stays on, he's feisty, he uses his hands and his body and his frame well enough to work there. All right, let's end on another one-on-one pass rush. There's Nelson right there. He's going to be one-on-one on this defensive end. Again, we're talking long yardage situation. You're on an island. You got to get it done. This defensive end's coming at you. It's a tough situation, but again, he's got the right approach in terms of his pass protection. It will allow the Falcons to be successful if he has to play. Let's check it out. All right, there's a snap. We can see one-on-one right there. You can see the guard. He's one-on-one, so no help for Nelson. Again, on an island. But see how he still hangs in there close to the guard until the last second? I don't know why, but I really like that mentality. I really like that approach. You can see on the left side here, he bails out very quickly. This is very standard what you see with offensive linemen. They love getting out there in their kick slides because, you know, it makes the social media rounds, those funny things. You work on that footwork all day, of course. But I tell you what, sometimes just staying close to home and being comfortable in your footwork and comfortable in your stance, that works too. And again, Nelson catches a little hair, but he gets his hands right there, slows down the pass rush, just enough. Again, it's about winning. It's about not giving up pressures or sacks. And this will work right here. This defensive end, he has a wide 9 technique. He's outside this H-back right here, number 47. He's got a long way to run. But if he's going to try and run at you and run over slowly, and you're able to slow him down, take him down to 0 miles per hour right there, you win. Right? You win. That is winning pass protection. Is that elite? Is that all pro? Will you get invited to the Pro Bowl with this kind of block? Probably not. But will you win? Will your quarterback survive? Will you put together good offensive drives? You certainly will, because right here, Again, that's what you want. Quarterback had a chance to complete the receiver down the field for a big play. We saw it on the previous play as well. Nelson, if he has to play, is not a liability, folks. He's a really solid player. Far from perfect. He has some things to work on, but I think worse things could happen if the Falcons had to play someone else. I think he's a quality rookie who has a bright future, and if he has to step up this year, he is 100% ready to do so.